Our group is doing the gross anatomy of the brain and cranial nerves. We will be going over the cerebrum, the cerebellum, and the brainstem.
This is the frontal lobe, which will be located right here behind the forehead. This controls your reasoning, planning, problem solving, emotion, and behavior movements. The parietal lobe, which you have a left and a right side, which is also located on this one right here and right here. The function of that processes the sensory information, touch, temperature, and pain. Then you have the temporal lobe, which would be right here near the ear, and the function is involving your hearing, memory, language, comprehension.
Which is also marked on that red spot on the brain.
Then you have your
occipital,
which is located in the back of the brain here, which in the skull would be down here. And that processes your visual information. Then you have your
cerebral hemisphere,
which would be the left and the right side of the brain. The left side typically associated with language, logic, and the right side is associated with your creativity and spatial ability.
This line represents the longitudinal fissure, which also represents the midline, separating the hemispheres. And on both hemispheres, right here is the central sulcus, which separates the frontal and the parietal lobe. The central sulcus is about right here. And the precentral gyrus, this is the precentral gyrus, and this is the postcentral gyrus. So the precentral in the frontal lobe controls voluntary movements, and on the postcentral gyrus in front of the central sulcus, right here, the postcentral gyrus receives and processes touch and body sensations. So we have the central sulcus, the precentral gyrus, and the postcentral gyrus. And then the central sulcus, and then around in this region, we have the lateral sulcus, which separates the temporal lobe from the frontal and parietal lobes. So over here,
we have the corpus callosum, which connects the brain hemispheres for communication. And here we have the thalamus. Its function is to relay sensory information to the brain. And here is the hypothalamus. It regulates functions like temperature and hormones. This is the
pituitary gland.
It secretes hormones that control growth, reproduction, and metabolism. This little line here is the infundibulum. It links hypothalamus to the pituitary gland for hormone signals.
This is the medulla oblongata that is located at the base of the brain, where the brainstem connects to the spinal cord. It deals with respirations and cardiovascular systems and regulating its vitals to the body. Next is the pons, located in the brainstem, specifically between the midbrain and medulla oblongata. It forms a horseshoe shape above the medulla oblongata between the midbrain, posterior to the fourth ventricle, and anterior to the cerebellum. Functions of the pons is the motor, sensory, and breathing. Midbrain is right here. It's crucial for motor control, particularly for eye involvement in process, vision, and hearing. It is located at its highest part of the brain stem, which is right here. the arbor vitae is located deep within the cerebellum, specifically in white matter, which is all right here. Surrounds the cerebellar cortex. The function is to conduct signals between different parts of the cerebellum and the rest of the brain. That does include the spinal cord. It does carry sensory from body to motor. Then the transverse fissure is located on this brain in between. It's below the cerebellum and above the cerebellum. It's also posterior and near the brainstem. The function acts as a physical wall that distinguishes the cerebellum's function, like sensory and voluntary movement.